Hi J Dolls, and I'm back with another video. Before we get to this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell, y'all. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers, so don't play with us because we ain't never been one of them. And if you ain't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. It is free 99. And if you still don't subscribe, you a hater. Take that with your mama, because why she raised you like that? Period. Anyways, y'all, today I'm actually going to be doing a series, y'all. So I put up another video before about being the fat ugly friend, okay? Now I'm going to continue that series, and today when I'm talking about being the fat ugly friend, I'm going to be referring to being the token friend, because you are the fat ugly friend. So I want to talk about that. If you're new here, y'all, I used to be 326 pounds. I've lost about 158 pounds. So I'm going to tell you guys how I was treated as a bigger girl or as a fat friend, and how I'm treated now as the friend. So let's get into the tea. What I noticed is before I had a lot of friends, okay, when I was fat, and I'm going to use the word fat because that draws people's attention for some reason, y'all. When I was fat, I had a lot of friends. When I got small, I lost a lot of friends. And it was truthfully because I started seeing people's true colors. But I want to talk about how when you're bigger, right? When you're plus size, bigger, fat, whatever word you like to use, you sometimes attract very insecure people. I didn't know that when I was bigger, obviously, because I was big from like the age 8 up into the age 25, 26, right? So I've always been big majority of my life, like since I literally started to really interact with humans for real. So I never noticed that some friends are really just friends with you because you're big. I know that sounds crazy, but I had a friend and she started to act very weird around me once I lost weight. The dynamic before I lost weight, when I was bigger, we would go out places. Like, we would go to clubs. We would go to, like, out of town. We would go out to eat. We would do a lot of things together. When we would do those things, I wouldn't get attention because I was the bigger girl. Now, if I was to get attention, it would be like I'm at the club and some guy wants me to dance on him. I dance on him, whatever, da-da-da. It was always like when I got attention, it was like overly sexualized, okay? But with her, when she got attention, it would be like them talking to her, wanting to buy her drinks, and so forth. You know, wanting to get her information, her social medias. Now, mind you, when I was a big girl, I was getting social medias and stuff like that too, but not at the capacity of my friend. My friend was getting a lot of numbers. A lot of people wanted to get her drinks. A lot of people were talking to her, okay? She didn't always have to be just dancing with somebody. But when I was bigger, it was like a lot of men were not trying to take me serious if they met me out. And if they didn't meet me out in the club or the bar, they weren't going to talk to me. Like, if I was just out shopping or out, like, at the grocery store, they wouldn't just come up to me and talk. Or if I was at an event, no man would just come up to me and talk and try to get my information. They would only try to talk to me if they were under the influence. Like, we're at the club, at the bar, we're at the gas station. Where the hood niggas at? Where the hood niggas at, okay? Those are the 3 spaces I would get as a bigger girl attention. So my friend or ex-friend, like my old friend, right? She was used to me only getting attention in those type of areas and not to a high capacity, right? She was the one to get majority of the attention. So I never sensed any insecurities in her. I knew she was like very nitpicky about how her pictures were taken and things like that. But like, I never seen like, oh my God, she doesn't like how she looks, or this is this. I never really seen that in her because I didn't analyze it, because I was so focused on just like enjoying our friendships. I didn't really think, okay, she's insecure. I never noticed she was insecure until I got smaller. And this is the biggest thing, is some people literally befriend bigger girls or be in relationships with bigger girls to boost their egos. What does that mean? Like, literally, they will date you, like a man will date you because he feels like, hey, you're bigger, like you can't really do no better, or you can't be picky, or if you bring up an issue, he's not really trying to resolve it. I'm not saying every man, I'm just saying these are some men that act like this because they're trying to use a bigger girl to boost their ego. Or there's some men that glorify bigger women, especially on social media, for them to be like, oh yeah, like to hype the guy up and to give the guy money and to boost the man up so that he feels better about himself. There's also guys that are like a little bit smaller that like bigger girls because they grew up being bullied because they were so small. So like they then date bigger girls and really, really skinny guys. So overall, a lot of bigger girls attract insecure people. I didn't know that when I was bigger, okay? But I knew that people were always in competition with me. And I knew people were always being messy. Like, what you being messy for? But I didn't get the correlation. But if you break it down, there's literally guys that use bigger girls to make them feel better. Like, oh yeah, this girl gonna like me. She gonna love me regardless. She gonna let me do this. She gonna let me do that because she big. She need to chill. You asking for too much. You need to chill. Like, that's how they do bigger girls sometimes. And then the friends, right? There are some girls that are insecure. Like, they don't think they look good. Or it could be subconsciously. Like, you won't think that this friend is only being friends with you because you're big. And they probably don't even understand that they're just being friends with you because you're big, okay? Because it's an attraction thing, right? If someone has low self-esteem and they go out with you, it's going to boost their self-esteem if you're a big girl. Because they're going to feel like more people are talking to them. More people want to be around them. More guys are interested in them than you. So it's this power dynamic for them. But as a bigger person, you're not thinking like, oh, you thinking that's my friend. Just me and my friend and them. Go best friends. So that's what you're thinking because you've been big your whole life, right? But the whole time, they really like hanging out with you because you're big. And when you're there, they feel better about themselves because people are talking to them. People want to be with them. People are prioritizing them because they are the standard, the standard of what attraction looks like. Even if as a bigger girl you have a pretty face and you look like you dressed to the nines, you got your hair done, you got your nails done, you're still a bigger girl. And I had to notice that when I was a bigger girl, my face card was T, my personality was T, the way I dressed was T. I kept up with myself even more back then, okay? So, but when I would go out, still my other friends would get more attention. And honestly, I didn't care. This is the crazy thing is I didn't care. I'm not the type, like, I know I'm on the internet, whatever. I'm not the type that thrives from attention. Like, I like my work to be recognized. Like, oh, my creativity and my poetry and stuff like that. I like that to be recognized. But I don't like people constantly coming to talk to me. I ain't gonna lie. Even when I got smaller, I had to get used to, like, people wanting to conversate with me for no reason. Like, and especially men. Because I get nervous. Like, I can hold conversations, but I'd rather not start them. You know, I can't be the only one, baby. So anyways, with my friend, with a specific friend, I had started to notice when I started getting smaller, like, we started distancing. Like, there's a lot of reasons. I'm not going to just say because I have changed too. When you get from big to smaller, I'm not skinny, but like, when you get from big to smaller, like, you also change mentally. Like, and when you're trying to keep up a healthy journey, you prioritize things. Like, you prioritize your health. You don't want to eat out as much. Or I didn't want to eat out as much. I didn't want to drink as much. Me and her, we eat out all the time. We would drink all the time. So that already affected our relationship right there because a lot of our time was spent eating out. So when your friend is your best friend and she just stops eating out and all y'all do is eat out together all the time, that does change our friendship. Like, does the friendship sustain? Another thing is, like, when we would go out, I would start getting a lot of attention, which this was not a normal thing for me. This was not a normal thing for the friend, which is understandable. I try to be understanding. There was a lot of changes and shifts going on, but I would go out with her and guys would come talk to me every time. And I don't think it's a look thing. You know, she's very beautiful. You know what I mean? I just think also it's an energy thing, right? Not only now, before I had the energy, like, I had the personality. I was like fun. I would talk to people. I would be all over the club. I've been like that. I've been that girl, period. And we be fine. When I get that liquor, baby, I want to socialize. When I get that liquor, then I'm going to go up to you, baby. Then I'm going to be like, okay, what you doing? Why you at the club on your phone? What you doing? Like, I'm one of them. Like, I just like to giggle kiki when I'm drunk. If I'm not drunk, baby, I be acting antisocial. So, boom. I've been like that, but I was bigger. So it was like, okay, nobody really, like, people care about your friend. Way like, hey, like this. But when I exude this energy now, guys come up to me just to talk to me, try to get my number, want to take me out. And not in any disrespectful manner. They want to get me drinks. They want to, like, hang out with me. They want to take me on dates. So it got to the point where it's like every time we would go out, guys were approaching me and approaching me and approaching me. And they weren't approaching her at all. And honestly, I really think it was because she was very close. Like, she didn't seem like she was in good energy at the time, honestly. So I don't think it was a look thing. I just think it was an energy thing. But they would come talk to me. And if I like a dude, I would go talk to them. But that friend didn't want to just go talk to guys that she liked. So she expected them to come up to her. She started to feel entitled. Like, oh, why are these guys not talking to us? I'm about to do a whole nother story time, y'all, for a real story time on that. But she would just be like, why they not talking to us? Like, why they not coming up to us? Like, they know they, like, they're looking, da-da-da. I'm like, well, if you want to talk to them, just go talk to them, you know? So it was starting to get to the point where it's like, now we are attracting the same type of guys. Before, y'all, my type always was like a dark-skinned guy, and I love African men. Mind you, I love African men, period. Even though I'm smaller now, I love African men, period. It's not just because they like bigger girls, because back in the day, I just attracted a lot of African men because African men like big girls. But I like African men mindset about being masculine and like being a provider, being a protector. They have very standard cultural mindsets that I enjoy. I don't want me a passenger princess. I don't want a 50-50 nigga. I don't want I'm gonna follow your lead nigga. I don't have anything to give nigga. I don't want it. Now hopefully I don't get flack for that. I'm about to bleep some of them out. But anyways, y'all. So I wasn't like really attracted to light-skinned dudes like that. And light-skinned dudes were not really that attracted to me when I was big. I'm just gonna be honest. Don't shoot the messenger. And this is not to put down big people. This is literally to tell you to make sure you're prioritizing and understanding your friendships, because literally people will befriend you just because you're fat, because they feel good when they're around you, because they get all the attention, they get all the love. It makes them feel like whole, that you're there. And like I said, sometimes they don't even notice what they're doing until they notice what they're doing. So anyways, y'all, so I started attracting like light-skinned pretty boys, like pretty, like magazine, like fine, career, everything. I started attracting them, and at one point me and her attracted the same guy. I think this is where it triggered our relationship and our friendship, because at this point I was getting smaller. Like I think this friend knew that with my weight loss I was gonna lose a lot of weight, but I didn't think she ever thought that I would get smaller than her. And I never seen my friend as competition. I never seen my friend as competition ever. So I never wanted to compare. I don't even like to compare myself to others. I'd rather not even know what you got going on. I'm not going to ask nobody else their weight. I'm not going to ask them what their salary is. I don't even care. If people volunteer this information, they volunteer. I'm not asking you nothing. I don't even want there to be anything to compare about. To be honest, like, I'm not that type of friend. So I'm not thinking we're in competition or anything like that of those sorts. So when she started to act kind of weird, I started jotting things that she was doing down. And I'm like, why is my friend acting really weird to me? Like, I understand I have changed. Like I said, I don't eat out like that. But it just got to the point where it's like, when we go out, she would just sit there like this. And I'd be like, what the heck? Like, before when we go out, she would be dancing. I'd be dancing. You know what I mean? When I was big, when I was a fat friend, she would be having so much fun with me, right? And, like, people would come up to her and all that type of stuff. But then when I got smaller, she would just sit there and just look around. And I'm like, okay, I'm bored. So I would start leaving her. Because this is how I am. When I drink, I'm gonna lollygag. If you're just sitting around, but okay, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna go talk to this person. I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Okay, I'll be back. I'm about to go. Like, I'm gonna go find other friends because I can literally make friends very quick. Like, go dance with them. You know, smack a little ass. Like, that's what I like to do. Like, let's twerk some. Let's do some. Because if my friend ain't doing nothing and I'm at the club, we're not at church right now. We're at the club. What is you doing? So it started becoming a pattern that every time we go out, she didn't want to be there. Like, she just seemed like she was irritated. And when I would talk to guys and stuff like that, she would seem irritated. And then when guys wouldn't come up to talk to her, she would be mad. And I'd be like, girl, why are you making a problem? Just go talk to them. If you want the nigga, go get him. Like, do you want me to go get him for you? So I remember one night, this turned into a whole story about the friend at this point. But I remember one night, there was a frat. There was like a whole bunch of people that's like in a frat fraternity. And this is nothing against that friend. I love that friend. So this is just me telling my story. And I learned, like, I'm just going to tell my story. Even if it might make people feel bad. Nobody knows who the friend is. So who am I here to protect, you know? But anyhow, y'all, it was a fraternity, a group of fraternity dudes. There was one guy there, and I told her, I said, hey, like, he kept looking over there, like, over our way. We both standing right there. So I'm like, oh, he keep looking over here, keep looking at us. Like, do you want to dance with him? I'm like, you should go dance with him. Because she was just sitting like this. I'm like, you should go dance with him. Go ahead. She's like, no. But he was freaked out, though. He gave me freaking leg. But I ain't gonna lie, y'all. But I ain't gonna lie. That man, oh, he made me almost. Anyway, I told her, go ahead, dance with him. She said, oh, no, I don't want to dance with him. I don't want to dance with him. That's exactly how she said. I'm like, okay, cool. She's like, you dance with him. I'm like, okay, I will. Mind you, I'm the life of the party. That's what I do. So I'm dancing on him, like, it's getting crazy because this man is one of them fraternities from Houston, right? So he's wild and we're wild on the dance floor. Mind you, his other friend tried to talk to me. Mind you, there's like 5 of them. And the one I was dancing with tried to talk to me. The other friend tried to talk to me. The other friend, she went up, my friend, old friend, went up to him to talk to him. Like, oh, you know, went to talk to him and stuff. And then she came back to me and said, oh, he wants to talk to you. Like that. Oh, he wants to talk to you. And I'm like, what? Talk to me about what? What are we talking about? You know? And she's like, I don't know. He said he wanted to talk to you. So I don't know if he like sneak dissed her. Like, oh no, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to your friend. I don't know what the conversation was. But it was just like every time things would get weirder. So I was like, okay. So I went to talk to like, oh, what's going on? Did you want to talk to me or something? Like, and then he got weird, like got quiet. So that was awkward. I don't even know what their discussion was, but it seemed like some tension there. And it was only a quick conversation. So I'm like, okay, this is very weird. So this is the night I really realized that she was facing a lot of insecurities because the guys that she kept saying like, oh, they know they're looking over here. They just don't want to come over and talk to us. They don't want to talk to us. And I'm like, okay. One of them was like a tall, light-skinned dude. He was cute. So I was looking at him like, okay, cute. And I think at this point, she started to realize that I started thinking the guys that she thought was cute was also cute. And it was making her mad because the guys that she thought was cute also thought I was cute. Does that make sense? So now it started becoming like a competition. Like, you used to be my friend when I was fat because there was no competition. Because when we would go out, you felt comfortable. Like, you would get all the guys. And you don't have to worry about me. But now that I'm going out having a good time and the guys are coming and approaching me, now you're mad and it's making you uncomfortable being around me. And that was a weird dynamic for me, like being my best friend, that my friend was acting this weird. So at this point, we had left out of the club. The guy I was dancing with, I was hugging him and he picked me up. He just lifted me up in the air and was flopping me up and down like this outside. Mind you, this is the second time this has happened, and this is the second time this has happened in front of that friend, specifically. I don't know what it was about. Every time I go out with her, some random dude would come up to me, give me attention, and, like, pick me up off my feet. Baby, I ain't that skinny. No. I'm smaller than I was 326 pounds ago, but I ain't no rag doll. The way these people be just picking me up. My little cousin be picking me up now. I'm like, baby, hold on, wait a minute. I ain't no 130 or nothing like that. Like, please. So Anyhow, he picked me up. He was just bouncing me up and down, bouncing me up and down. She recorded the first time this another dude picked me up at the different club, but like she didn't get the whole thing. But the second time this dude picked me up, she like missed it all. She's like, oh, like I didn't even notice. Like he picked you up. Da, da, da. I don't know what she was doing out there. And I'm like, oh yeah, da da da. And then they had invited us to go to their hotel. Like, hey, do you guys want to go to our hotel? Like y'all should come. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not going to nobody's hotel. If you want to get F, that's where you go to a hotel. I don't want to get F. So, no. You're fine. You lift me off my feet. But you seem like the D stands for... So, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. He was a Leo, too. Made so much sense to me. I don't even mess with Leos like that. We ain't even play. So, my friend at the time was like, oh, like, do you want to go? Do you want to go to the hotel? She was acting hecka weird. I'm like, is you cool? Like, I know her. Like, why would we go to this hotel? We know we ain't doing nothing. Like, why are you acting like beyond thirsty? So I said, no, like, we're not going to the hotel. Like, let's just go get your pizza luce because she wants pizza luce. Let's get your pizza luce and let's go home. Let's get out of here. So at this point, we do that. We get to pizza luce. She tells me that every time she goes out, she starts to feel like worse and worse about herself. There's nobody out here for her. And when she said that, I was like, oh, that's when it had clicked in my head that she was comparing her situation like no man wants her. And so that's when it all clicked to me like, oh my gosh, my friend is insecure. I never knew my friend was insecure because I was never getting that type of attention. So it was never nothing to compare about. Like, it was day and night. I'm used to having very attractive friends. I ain't gonna say all the friends I had was attractive, but I've had very beautiful friends. And I've been out with them and they get a lot of attention and I let them do their thing. I never took it as a personal attack, like just because I was fat. Like, oh, she always getting all the guys. And I didn't give a flying fuck. I've been fat my whole life. So I think it's different when you've been fat your whole life. You're not even expecting certain attention. I remember when I would go out, I was not even expecting free drinks because as a fat friend, you don't get a lot of free drinks. You make sure you drink before, you make sure you buy your own drinks there, and people think it's a hyper independent thing, but it's a thing where it's like you don't want to go there and feel disappointed because you're not offered drinks because you're the big friend. And if a person talk to your friend, most likely they're not going to want to also buy you a drink too unless they got the money, which there's some dudes like that coming like that, I'm going to buy you and your friend a drink. But a lot of dudes going to buy the friend a drink. So I was used to being the fat friend that didn't get free drinks. Only until I got smaller was I starting to get a bunch of free drinks. Like every time I go out, I get drinks after drinks after drinks. I get people pulling me to the side, ask for my Instagram. When I tell you, and I'm not trying to like gas myself up like I'm just Beyonce, okay? Mind you, right now I don't got no makeup on. My hair is like barely even done. But I know I am beautiful, right? And I know that I have like an energy to me. But when I started going out, and still to this day, because I don't go out a lot, like I will literally not go out and then go out. And it's been months since I've been out. And every time I go out, it's overwhelming. Like a guy's pulling me here, a guy's pulling me there, a guy want to talk to me here, a guy want to talk to me there. And it'd be like, literally, last time I went out, I told a guy, don't even come over here. Right away, like, don't even come over. And it wasn't just because he was ugly. I was overstimulated. Like, just no more. No more. And then I'd be feeling bad because like if you approach me in a nice way and you give me a drink and stuff, I'd be like, let me just give you my number because number ain't gonna hurt. But then it'd be like, I'm just giving my number out like a freaking like a food shelf or something like that. Like, no, like I gotta relax. So mind you, I wasn't used to this attention. So when I got this attention, it was affecting her. I was like, this is strange. Mind you, on the top of the other things that had happened, the things she had said and some weird things she had done, that was like, whoa, okay, it's clicking for me now. She's insecure. Before, when I was fat, she felt better about herself because she didn't have to feel insecure. Like, she didn't have to feel her insecurities because the guys was making her feel better about herself. Like, people talking to her was making her feel better about herself. Guys buying her drinks make her feel better about herself. Like, and also she feels like, I started to feel like she felt like above people in some ways of like, no, they have to come up to me. Like, I'm not going over to talk to no guy. Like, it kind of made it feel like, and I knew that she was superficial about looks a lot. Like, every guy she wanted to talk to, he had to look a certain way. If he was not like fine, like supermodel fine, like Dubai looking man, like Arab looking, light skin looking, some, like, I'm not just saying she would never date a dark skinned dude, but if they didn't have a specific look, she wasn't interested into getting to know them like that. She was very like look focused, and now it all makes sense that even though I don't think she did it on purpose, subconsciously she was benefiting more from our relationship when I was fat, when I was a fat, ugly friend. Mind you, I was never ugly, but she was benefiting because she was the traditional attractive person. And then she started to realize that my relationship wasn't benefiting her in that way. And I know that our relationship is way bigger than that, and I love her still to death. Like, we still haven't resolved some of our issues here, but I know that wasn't our whole relationship. But when that happened, I realized I had attracted so many insecure friends. And that is why when I lost weight, I lost a lot of friends. And it wasn't because I thought I was better than them. No, I'm still the same Joanna. I do enjoy different things though. And I do give people grace for that, because I don't like to eat out all the time. I still like to eat out. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it turned. But I like to go out once, max twice a week. I cannot do the everyday. You know, I can't do the everyday. When I'm going on vacation, my vacations now are not always filled with just food all the time. Like, that's the only thing I care about really doing. No. Like, I'm not going to eat breakfast and then eat lunch, eat dinner, then eat ice cream, and then eat, like, cupcakes and donuts. Even if I'm on vacation, I can't. My stomach is too small. It cannot surpass. I can only eat a little bit with this little stomach. Okay? So it was hard navigating my friendships at the time. Before that, I had already lost 2 other friends way before, that were very insecure, that would try to bring you down, that would try to backstab you and stuff like that. So I had to realize you really attract what you are, right? And a lot of times people say like, oh, just because I'm fat doesn't mean I'm insecure. It doesn't mean you're insecure. No, it doesn't. But when I look back at it, I was insecure because I didn't really like love myself, right? I didn't really love myself, so I attracted friends that didn't love themselves. You attract what you are, what you think about yourself. And I had to realize that's why I attracted those friends, and this is why I don't have those friends anymore. I literally have friends that are like soul tribes for me now, that we really focus on like building each other up, uplifting each other. When there's a win for each other, we're gonna be there for each other. When we got events going on, we're gonna repost it. We're going to be there for each other, uplift each other, be happy for each other. We're gonna heal together. We're gonna talk about life. Everything is not superficial and like surface level. And I had to realize, I'm like, my friendships before was surface level. All we talked about was relationships. I try to remember what we talk about day to day, maybe work, life, stuff like that. And like eating out, like that was our relationship. Now my relationships are more about like bonding, like what type of things we're like trying to accomplish in life. How can we get there? What is our goals? Let's work together. What things we need to overcome? What trauma we need to overcome? How can we pour to each other and grow each other? Even if you think of like an actual, when you think about an intimate relationship and a friendship, it should be so similar. Like when you're with that person, y'all should help each other grow in some mindset. Your mind needs to grow in some way, or they need to give you different thoughts or different approaches on stuff so that you can take that on. But back then, I was with friends that were lost. Very lost. They didn't know what they want to do with their life. They were unhappy with the things they were doing with their life. All of them. And they were not willing to make a change because they were so scared and so insecure. And I love my old friend. The other 2, I love them as people, but those was clean slate things that had to get cleaned out. But the one friend I'm talking about here, I really truthfully care a lot about her. But I learned so much about her from changing myself. So I realized that it started to be like uncomfortable being around her when I wasn't fat. She wasn't as supportive. Like when I would post stuff, if I talk about weight loss and stuff like that, I would see her in the views and not liking it. if I put like a transformation video up, I will see her in the views not liking it. Mind you, I like all her stuff, repost her stuff. I've been like that since I was bigger to the smaller. And when I got smaller, she stopped really reposting my business stuff. Like, she has supported me. Like, when I was big, when I was fat, she supported me to the T. Would come to my pop-up shops, will repost my stuff. Even when she was uncomfortable with what she was reposting, she would do it. But when I got smaller, it almost made her feel like we were competition and not friends. And that's my side, how I feel about it. She wasn't as supportive of any of the things that I was doing anymore. And I'm like, what is going on? And that's when I really started to piece all the things that were happening that made sense on, okay, wow, maybe my friend was more comfortable being friends with me when I was fat. And that's one of the hardest things I had to overcome. And that's something I'm still working on, because when you've known somebody for so long, you've been friends with them for so long, something so superficial as changing looks, it can just like change them into a whole nother person. I understand too that person had other things going on in their life, but a lot of the things that were making me uncomfortable were surrounded around looks or certain comments or just not being supportive of me when I was literally nothing but supportive to this friend. And I understood now that I look back and see like how critical she was of herself and how critical she was of looks, even when it comes to relationships, that if you're this critical over like a guy's look, you probably are critical about your friend's looks. Let's be honest. And it's something that I had to notice, that a lot of her friends were not conventionally beautiful, like conventionally. I'm not saying none of her friends were beautiful, but I'm saying like, you know, like the conventionally attractive, like she didn't have somebody in her friend group that was just like extremely gorgeous. And that made me realize like, whoa, that is very weird. You know what I mean? Not saying I was beautiful, but I mean, had a beautiful face, had a beautiful body, was getting extreme amounts of attention. She didn't have any friends in her group like that. Where I've had friends like that in my group. I have a friend, well, old friend, that every time we would go out, she would get a lot of attention because she was like traditional, like beauty standards for a lot of black men. And she would get approached all the time, like anywhere we go, any place, like she would get in free, she would get approached. And I was used to that, and I was fine with that. I had no issues with it. I knew it was going to happen every time we went out. Like, I wasn't mad. Like, I was used to, I don't know. I never was used to getting a ton of attention. And if anyone can relate, they can put it in the comments below. But like, being fat, you're used to being almost invisible sometimes. And I think that's why now I kind of reverted. Before, I used to be in a lot of relationships when I was bigger. I was always in love with somebody. And since I got smaller, I don't even want to be involved with a lot of people. Like, practically no one. Like, I start talking to somebody and they start being crazy already or irritating me. They can say one word wrong and I'm like, okay, no, I'm cool. And then got overstimulated with so many options, but the options are still trash, right? So it's been a lot journey. Like, when you lose weight, people talk about this, about when you lose weight, you lose friends, but you don't understand the impact when it impacts like your closest friendship, like a friend you thought would never not be your friend anymore. And obviously there's other things that had happened that I discussed with the person. We had a discussion, and I decided we needed time apart. And it wasn't because I think she's a bad person. I just feel like when you're insecure and you don't want somebody to do better than you, or you don't like uplift them, especially after all they've been through, like, it's kind of like that's a character flaw to me. Like, that means you have to love yourself and got to work on yourself first before we can repair our friendship, because it stems from a lack of self-love. So also, like I said, going back, well, you attract what you are. And when I was bigger, I had a lack of self-love. And so I attracted people that had a lack of self-love. Trust me, God is going to put you in alignment with people that you are aligned with. So if you might be like blaming this person, blaming that person for everything they doing, blaming this, you have to also look internally. What are you doing to attract those people? What spaces are you in? How are you behaving? How do you see yourself? These are big things. And honestly, when you are overweight, being that I was overweight, you truthfully don't prioritize yourself. And I know that it will be debated by bigger women or plus size women that, oh, you could care about yourself and be bigger. But now that I've lost weight, I've learned you cannot care about yourself and be bigger unless you have a health condition, right? You have a health condition where you can't lose weight. But if you don't have a health condition, you don't care about yourself because you don't care about what you're really putting in your body. You're not caring about how you're moving your body. You're not caring about how you treat your body, and you're not caring about how you treat yourself. Because that was me. That was me. And then I wonder why people didn't treat me well. Because I wasn't even treating myself well. Was I waking up at 5:30 in the morning to make sure I worked out and I actually ate breakfast that was nutrition based? Did I actually like prioritize sleep? Did I actually drink enough water? Did I actually like make sure I wasn't having so much sugar? Did I actually really care about myself? Was I actually happy? Did I actually know myself? This is getting deep. But when you are that way, people are going to treat you the way you treat yourself. If they see you treat yourself, and this is not materialistic thing, you can treat yourself well. Y'all, I used to have my nails done. I used to have my hair done. From the outside, back then, I was treating myself way better than what I am treating myself now. Now I actually be doing my own hair, do my own nails. Like, not prioritizing always looking like tip-top shape. You know what I mean? Meaning as in aesthetics. But I'm actually treating myself the best right now. I'm actually making sure I'm eating right, having balance. Of course, nobody is perfect. Making sure I'm working out consistently every week, 3 times a week. Making sure I'm drinking water. Making sure I'm literally treating myself better. Even though back then I looked like I was treating myself better. Like I always had my makeup. I always had my hair. I always had my nails. I always had designer. From the outside, it looks like I'm treating myself well. But internally, I was missing a lot of parts of myself. I didn't even know myself. So how can you have friends that you can truly know if you don't know yourself? So it took me, I have to play a part in this too. Because it wasn't just because my friend was insecure and all that stuff. And she was just more of a friend to me when I was fat. But it was also because when I was fat, I didn't know myself. I didn't even know what I really like to do. I didn't know, like, I knew my hobbies, like, in sorts of creative things that I really liked, but I wasn't really being disciplined with them. I wasn't actually really doing them. I wasn't actually, like, keeping my promises to myself. So how can I expect a friend to be a good friend to me if I'm not a good friend to myself? And that's a big thing I want to talk about in the community. Is not saying everybody needs to lose weight. No. I just think everybody needs to prioritize themselves. Like, they need to prioritize that they're eating healthy, that they're working out, that they feel good internally. Externally, all that's fake. Internally, how do you feel about yourself? Do you feel tired and groggy every time you eat? Do you feel energized? Do you feel disciplined? Do you feel worthy? What are you feeling? Anyways, y'all, I was getting to my Dr. Phil moments. I always do. Okay? But, you guys, I do provide weight loss coaching sessions, so make sure you actually check my comments. It has my Squarespace where you can book for my availability, or you can text me. Mind you, all of these are going to be done through Google Meet, so it doesn't matter what part of the world you live in, we can do coaching. Okay, how I focus on things is the mind, body, soul. So it always starts with the mind before it starts with your food and your working out. That's a whole thing we can dissect on a call. But I do one-on-one coaching. So I do have where you can just get 1 coaching, or you can get 4 coachings, which can be once a week. And when you book the 4, you get 1 for free. So right now prices are very, very low. Prices will go up. So make sure you do book if you do want to get weight loss coaching. Other than that, I do also do healing work. So if you have any like childhood trauma you're trying to work through, I do that also with my weight loss coaching. To be honest, I do think weight is held from trauma. and stuff like that. You energetically hold on weight. That's a whole thing. But I also do healing readings, so I can give you a reading to kind of tell you what's going on with your life, what your life path looks like, what some things you might need to work on, what some things maybe from your past life, anything really to move you forward in life on a greater path. So make sure y'all check it out, support your girl, and I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure y'all, I'm also trying to remember to promote myself. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at It's a Joanna Thing, okay? Also follow me on TikTok at It's a Joanna Thing. Will be linked in the description box below. Bye.